consent is a process, not a moment. So an intimacy coordinator is a practitioner that brings a skill and a process to the intimate content, just like a stunt coordinator would for a fight, or a choreographer would be for a dance. Inherent within the role of the intimacy coordinator with the open communication is then just checking in and helping with the whole production to know that to assume nothing, and to make sure that there's a clear conversation, so agreement and consent can be given, and that's around the nudity, the degree of nudity that might be wanted, the degree of intimate content that might be wanted, and the quality of touch and where to be touched. We're saying to the directors, speak to your actors first about what you want from these scenes, and then once that's done, then us as the intimacy coordinator, we can go and have that conversation. We can go, right, okay, you know what the scene is, any concerns, what are you happy with, what are you not happy with, and then help to facilitate that communication across the production, speaking to wardrobe, making sure that they're supporting in in the modesty garments and modesty patches, and then when it comes to actually performing the scene, in that moment agreeing touch, what is okay for you right here, right now, today, physically to be in play. Then that's what we work with, so they can really be free as the performer and artistically bring all of their skills and all of their vulnerability to the content that's asked of them. Intimacy is any time in which there's touch. So of course we've spoken a lot about simulated sexual content, but you can have, perhaps you have someone performing an operation, so someone's having to be a body, with body parts. Perhaps you have childbirth, huge biggie that can leave an actor feeling incredibly vulnerable if it's not agreement and consent and clearly choreographed. Perhaps you've got an adult actor with an actor who's like, young, underage, playing their child, in which of course you want that beautiful storytelling of a parent to a child where they're hugging or they're sat on their laps with their legs open, or that body parts across each other. You want that free and open physicality that really tells us that they are a family. But all of that has to be journeyed through with agreement and consent, and all of that put in place. And of course, working with children, you're not just getting agreement and consent from the child, but you're working very closely with their parent or guardian to make sure that that pathway through to consent is is supported with the person who's their carer. When a hand goes down to a groin area, it's never ever going to go onto the actual groin area. Invariably, someone's no is that, your, as someone said, the bikini areas. So we're looking at where on the thigh to come, so you can, the arm is having a movement that looks like it's telling the right story, but it's absolutely, the areas of touch are absolutely in your partner's agreement and consent in a safe area. And then for me, details like putting on a condom, I want to see that there's some resistance, so looking at what body part you can push into body part that gives that resistance. So looking at perhaps pushing an elbow into a hip so that then that the energy again reads right, and we're not taken out of it because suddenly that doesn't read right. That's what I feel happens. I feel if the detail's not there, as an audience, we suddenly go, well, that doesn't feel real. And then the whole magic is broken, and then we're no longer engaging, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. So I feel it's important to get that detail, and then we can stay really engaged in the whole journey. We're different each and every day, like for example, if someone is on their period, there might have been like a stroke of a breast might have been absolutely fine. And then here we are, first day of period, you're really sensitive, going, okay, that might have been the choreography we spoke about. That's off bounds now. Let's find other body parts that we can tell the same storytelling with. So it is absolutely that. It's about no assumptions, about just rechecking out, the awareness that consent is a process, not a moment. So it could even be on the day. On the day someone said, yes, I'm happy to kiss, and you kiss, and it's a scene with lots of kissing. And then by the time you've done the same scene all day long, someone's got a 5 o'clock shadow and all of that kissing's meant that you've got a really red chin. You might go, okay, we've got the kissing, I need to stop kissing now. So, so it's even you know, in the moment. So again, just having that openness, keep on listening into who you are personally so that you can keep giving the best of yourself professionally. It takes time for people to trust. Really? Is that really okay? If I really say a no in this particular area, is that going to be listened to? And am I going to be respected for saying that no? And you know, can it be known that we can still be creative with that boundary in place? So it's helping the actor and the industry to understand that actually inviting the positive no is actually going to respect everybody across the board and give you better content. But it does take time for someone to listen into themselves and really trust that they can speak about that. And it takes time for the industry to understand that that it's not actually going to disrupt their production. It's actually going to make for something that's better. Animal rhythms is one of the tools or one of the references that we can use. There are many, so you might want to use music, you know, legato, staccato. You might want to refer to the elements, earth, air, fire and water. You might want to refer to colours. With Laban you have floating, flicking, dabbing. So so what's important is having, you know, again, an embodied language. You can help our actors to really hone in and be really clear and detailed while also staying professional.